Okay, continue the Avengers versus X-Men from the Versus book. We're now on to book 4, which had two different fights. One was Thor versus Phoenix-empowered Emma Frost, and the other, of course, being Psylocke versus Daredevil. So I'll go with the Psylocke versus Daredevil fight. Now, out of these two, as always, there's the 7 basic criteria. Part of a thumbnail stuck in my sock. I always look at 9 different criteria: intelligence, fighting ability, strength, speed, durability, things that kind of like endurance, and vulnerability. That is your resistance to overall physical damage. Energy projection is raw energy projection, your versatility, and X factor, whatever that last part that doesn't quite fit into everything else. Now, when it comes to Psylocke, if you actually read the original character, Betsy Braddock, where she was a model, around the time of Chris Claremont, I think she came back as a ninja. That's because there was a body swap between her and somebody referred to as Kawanin, who was a high-level assassin. That's why she went from being a psychic who was a pilot and a model to being a awesome ninja who for a while could produce a telepathic blade, and then later lost those abilities and had really great solid telekinetic abilities, and then recently kind of has access to both. So from being a high-level telepath with light telekinesis to high telekinesis, light telepathy, and now she has a combination of the two. So that's basically Psylocke's character. And then there's like you have Daredevil. You know, this of course is Matt Murdoch, who was blinded at a young age by, depending on origin, notice a radioactive material, which gave him severely heightened senses even though he's blind. So he can kind of see things that are going on through the images in his head based off of sound. And for a while, you know, he's fought a ton of some of the underground people. So a lot of people like the Hand. So he's used to fighting ninjas. He has a pretty decent, you know, acclimate when it comes to overall fighting because he had lots of training earlier on in his career. Yeah, he's also, for a while, I think he was also the leader of the Hand when they took over Hell's Kitchen, I think in Shadowlands. I don't read Marvel that much, especially him. I was always more of an X-Men sort of character. So begin right away with this. So first, we'll go with intelligence. In this one, I'll be kind of honest. You've got somebody who has been a ninja, a pilot, a model, who also teaches at a school, and Psylocke versus a very, very good lawyer. Teacher versus very effective professional lawyer. So I have to give the benefit to the lawyer. Fighting ability. You know, even though you've got a tremendous amount of skill when it comes to what Daredevil has done, you're comparing that to someone who was trained as a master level assassin as well as has had a lot of training with the X-Men. Now we're down to strength. In this one, given the way Psylocke is normally drawn, she's very strong for a woman, but normally when they show a male superhero, they tend to be a lot more physically dominant. So we'll give the physical strength advantage to Daredevil. Speed, in this one, it entirely goes to Psylocke. You know, I've seen fights she's taking on people who are strong and fast, and she glides around them almost like a leaf in the wind. So now we're on to durability. You know, how well do they recover from injury? Or their overall stamina. When it comes to overall stamina in a fight, I'm actually going to give the edge to Psylocke. The fights that I've seen Psylocke go through are very, very in-depth and very, very vicious. And she does not seem to slow down even when she's fighting somebody like Sabretooth or Omega Red, and in some cases even like Wolverine. So she's got some stamina to hang with the big boys. We've seen a lot of that too from Daredevil, but not to the level that we've seen from Psylocke. Invulnerability. Well, Daredevil wears armor, and Psylocke wears what you would see on a bathing suit somewhere, what you would see on the beach. So right now we're pretty well tied up when it comes to some of the physical skills. Now coming to the energy projection. This is just raw energy projection. Yeah. Even though Daredevil does have some sort of tricks, occasionally they show him having, you know, what he uses for his walking cane of the Matt Murdoch persona. Also his grappling hooks attached to it, so he's got some sort of abilities. He's taking on somebody with telekinesis as well as telepathy. Versatility. Now, you're comparing what sort of gadgets could he have on him to somebody with telekinesis and telepathy. Now we're coming on the all-important X factor. When I actually read through part of this fight, essentially Psylocke was winning until Daredevil actually used his intelligence and decided to use more of the lawyer aspect to get her to question her motives. You know, why are you doing this? Why are you fighting me? We've been on the same side. So looking at it from that aspect, I'd probably say the X factor, given the timing of the fight, I'd probably have to give that to Daredevil. So I picture this being a lot closer fight than most people probably give it credit to. But I do think that the vast majority of the time, Psylocke would end up being the victor.